So this is Metaphor, a demo. One of the demos is going to be played. So this is Metaphor. One of the demos is going to be played. It's another game. I don't remember the name of the other game. I could check it. Pause it for like a mini second. There'll be a delay within this video for like a mini second. Yeah, that's it. Thaumaturge. That's the name of it. Maybe I'm saying that wrong. But it's the two demos that just a recent. The Thaumaturge one is just more recent. So this is the demo with regards to Metaphor, because I've been trying to play Metaphor for quite some time. It's not free to play, but it is multiplayer, and you can play with many people. And it's done by the people who made Shin Megami Tensei. So I'll keep it down and let this movie play.
Oh, away with you! Back to your cesspit, beggar! A land grotesque as its people. You dreamt of utopia. You saw the tribes united as one. Oh. That dream died long ago. You should have done the same. Your kingdom will perish alongside you. By my hand.
I cannot fathom it. His Majesty killed in his own bed.
The blooms upon the prince's grave had yet to wilt. Without an heir to wear the crown, what will become of the royal magic?
Thus vulnerable, an invasion might undo us.
From within or without, the state hangs on a precipice. It may even come to civil war.
In dark times, we must stand together.
Your Eminence!
Who could do this? Few could even enter the king's chambers, let alone draw close. And yet
His Majesty's arcane power could deflect near any blade. With all the royal bloodline's magic, who could harm him at all?
shadows stir in the castle just as they did with the prince. What hellbound soul could end a royal life? Who would dare such atrocity? Huh?
Luis.
A shame to die with no heirs. The prince was taken too soon. And only a king may wield the royal scepter, the very crux of his vaunted bloodline's magic, which made such a fine deterrent to war. One has to ask, them dead, who shall take the throne?
What?
Here begins the demo prologue of Metaphor Refantasio. What we have to offer you is but a taste of the story from its beginning. But through it, your experience will mirror the full version. Should you wish it, you may carry over your save data to the full version. We thank you for expressing your curiosity about our tale of fantasy.
That was the most obvious villain in the history of villains. Who could kill the prince in his sleep, and then he comes out of nowhere, walks around everyone, and says, well, it's unoccupied throne now. Someone has to take the most obvious villain of all times. Like, he was not shy about outing himself. That's beautiful, man. He was like the most obvious villain of all times. That's like a Scooby-Doo episode. And they're pointing out who's the obvious villain, the one that's laughing maniacally. Yeah, he's the guy that did it. But I do like this. This is the first ever Persona, or should I say, this is the first Atlas game. The first Atlas game that's can truly be considered a chivalry game. Every game they had, like Persona and Shin Megami, they use swords, they use guns, but this is the first like D&D game they've ever done. Like there've been ton of Shin Megami games done by Atlas, but this is their first like attempt at Dungeons and Dragons type world. So I'm gonna really enjoy this. If we get all the different compendium beasts from the Shin Megami world, from Persona and Shin Megami games and Nocturne in here, along with other mythical characters of history, deities, gods, warlords, demigods, so on and so forth, hands down this will be the best Atlas game of all times. So I don't know yet. I gotta see how the battle system is, so I'll keep it quiet and just play the story. Oh, there's auto options, so I don't have to talk. Okay, and press buttons. Okay.
Whoever you are, please tell me. Does our world pique your interest? Pardon my curiosity, but would you tell me your name? That is to say, tell me who you really are. The one who meets my eyes across a strange threshold. Ah, a most unusual name. One I've never heard in our world. Which suggests to me you might reside in a world beyond ours. It is a curious thing that in your eyes, my entire world is but the dawn of a story yet untold. Or to put it another way, this is a fantasy. But can it truly be dismissed as something so far removed from you? If indeed you wish to cross to our world for a time, I would first ask that you indulge one question. Is fantasy limited to the confines of imagination? Would you call it a powerless creation? More than wishful thinking, more than fiction. Something capable of affecting the realities beyond its bounds. This must be what you believe. I confess, my own answer still eludes me. But consider, if fantasy is born from hope, a desire to make the world better than it is, then that hope can be made manifest. Thus does change come, and thus is fantasy forged into a new reality.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Basically, the people from Atlas are telling them, telling the audience and telling the world, at our first attempts at a Dungeons and Dragons fantasy world game, fantasy, dragons, mythical creatures, magic, wizards, warlocks, sorcerers, witches, fantastical beasts. They're describing what defines fantasy and what can be fantasy, and how fantasy can become a reality in the future, as long as we keep exploring this territory, which is very true. Before, robots were a myth, and now Elon Musk is making freaking billions of dollars to invest in creating cyborgs, and should be shipped off by 2028 with a selected few. By 2030, 2040, there's going to be a robot in everybody's home, and that's not fantasy. That's something that's happening right now. Before, in the 70s, 80s, 60s, 50s, 40s, the idea of robots taking over menial tasks was fiction. Now, that whole Terminator stuff, robots taking over the world, that has to be micromanaged. But fantasy is now reality in our real world. As we're speaking, as I'm playing this game, dudes are flying around with jetpacks. They're in beta test. They're military beta test. But those things exist. They're jetpacks that allows them to fly, military troops to fly. They're all beta test stuff, never used in combat. But what was once fantasy is now reality. So they're basically telling you whatever is going on in the world right now, that once was, is now is. And as long as we keep exploring this territory, what you would see, dragons, warlocks, magic, will one day come to pass. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. As long as you keep going down this imagination road. It might not be something as simple as, you know, a book on reading and waving your hands and creating enchantment signs. It will have to associate itself with science in some way. Not the way it was in the past Arcane War. It has to be with science in some ways. But you would be able to do this, science or not, what once was an imagination, whether it's by science or by other means or by biology or by necrology or by nanomachines, what was will one day be. Dragons will exist. You just have to make sure you don't end the world by creating freaking dragons. It's not an illusion what I'm saying. No one knew freaking robots would exist that could take care and do your tasks home. Now it's a reality. So thankfully the game is saying what was is now is, and we could keep go down this territory.
I'm thoroughly invested now myself. So let this tale begin.
But as long as idiots like you know, people who have nuclear wars want to fuck that up,
Looks like we're in the clear.
we'll never get there. We gotta micromanage those morons. Otherwise, worlds like this will never come to
The king is
pass.
dead.
Will never come to
And the
pass.
guards are more concerned with the funeral than keeping the roads safe. So now the monsters are roaming in broad daylight. No soldiers to stop them.
Monsters, huh? I've certainly been hearing the stories.
To say nothing of the vacant throne. There's a storm coming. Mark my words. That much is certain.
What's the problem?
They're bandits!
Come on, let's see some respect for the militia! Us folk, we're commoners. No crown or church will save us.
But Lord Luis will save us one and all. All we ask is no tribute. You're with us or against us? And if you're against us...
An igniter? How'd they get one of those?
Come on, keep it moving. Hurry it up. Next one. Huh? Look at you. What have we got here? He's an elder. So he is. No horns, no knife ears. Filthy gremlin like you. What you got in the capital? Oh, what's this? Looks like you've been holding out on us, boy. Hold it! Should have listened to us, chum. Now fall in line! Unless you want to get stuck like us.
You drew steel. I take it you are prepared to die by it.
Stand aside!
Oh, remember, war, violence, battle, and all this stuff will always exist. So, if one day a bunch of raiders...
Death trap. You hear all that stuff about Lord Luis saving us? Hey, you okay? You still got all your limbs attached?
Okay, so, like I was saying, I'm so glad that I could auto-stop this. It doesn't matter. Like, if someone said, oh, you want wizards and stuff and dragons and people using magic, oh, you want all this weird shit, and eventually the world comes to an end, all this weird shit will happen. Like, listen, dudes back in the Roman times and killing each other off, taking over countries. We're still at war in this day and age. Whether a bunch of people come out using magic or whether raiders or marauders come, kidnap people or kill people or take things and thieves and stuff, that shit is always going to exist. Whether they use magic to do it or they're just assholes, war will never stop. No matter how pretty you make the world, no matter how much you want fantasy become reality, and fantasy does become reality, and you get everything you've ever wanted, it's still not going to stop selfish people from being selfish. So even though I want fairies to exist and magic to exist and dragons to exist, it's not going to stop some asshole from profiting off that. That's not going to change. I'd rather have this than what we're having right now. At least with some type of magic, you're able to hold stuff back. But then again, there's going to be someone to exploit it and use it. So it doesn't really matter. But I'd rather have it than to not have it at all. Because it's going to happen regardless on either side. So it doesn't matter what I wish for. Man will still be man.
Well, at least they didn't figure out our mission. Definitely could have gone worse.
What mission?
Come on. This is no time for jokes. You do know that if anyone finds out who we really are, it's all over, right? The mission's more important than either of our lives. If we screw this up, there's no going back. Think we'll make it?
Alright, so eating a little sandwich here. What I am, this is a review demo. All demos are for review. I never put like for review on demos because when you're playing a demo, you're there to, the people are demonstrating their game. That's why they're called demos to you, the audience, to you to see whether you want to buy it or not, to check it out if it's worth it or not. So this whole demo is obviously a review of everything: movement, speed, eye, concentration, aiming down sights, so on and so forth, switching back to characters, persona style, commands, lists, graphic designs, all that stuff. And of course, inventory and making builds if this game offers builds. Movement speed, check. Good. R3, check. When I'm moving to the left and right, okay, it is persona, it's type. Combat is turn-based, but maybe it doesn't have to be.
Okay.
Before I get into that, let me continue. Elden Ring has a terrible, or most Souls games have a terrible thing of using the R3 and the L3 in combination with each other. You become nauseous. Here, the top, upper right, upper left, lower right, lower left seems to be all in cohesion with each other, or in relation to each other. I turn this way with the body without touching the R3 button. The character moves around. Environment to the back and to the front, zoom in and zoom out. They move fast and smooth with regards to never touching the R3. Obviously I can't see. If I keep running this way, I'll run directly into a tarantula or whatever because I'm not turning the camera. So turning the camera unrelated to the L3 is fast, smooth. So its default is pretty good. Doesn't make me nauseous when I'm spinning it around. Good. Those are good. There's no jump button for X. Typically standard would be jump X. Attack button is square. There's a combo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Is an animation? Oh, it is an animation for smoke when you're running on dirt. That's awesome. Typically, you only have an animation for your sword, but this game offers you an animation for smoke as well. Okay. Triangle is nothing. Circle is roll. Can I roll and strike? No. Same thing. Okay. L1 is nothing. R1 brings up the map. Okay. Center D-pad does nothing. L2 does nothing on the map. R2 does nothing on the map. Up, down, left direction button does nothing on the map. Square does nothing on the map. Triangle does nothing on the map. X does nothing on the map. Circle. Cancel out the map. Okay, so R1 brings up map. Circle cancels the map. I can't cancel out the map with the R1. Circle has to be the cancellation. Okay, that's that. Inventory, loading, tutorial, and everything with our options buttons. Settings, standard. How the settings look. The words are big enough for you to see, even if you're blind as hell. Even if you're an old man, you can see the text large enough. The red overshadow, or rec cell color, as web designers will call them, cell color overlay, is red. So you could, there's no way you could mess up on not knowing what you just selected and not selected. Right direction button, left direction button, turns on and turns off. That's good. Scrolling up and down. Can I jump all the way to the end? Can I jump all the way to the top? Let's see. No. So, but the scrolling is not too bad because it's not too long. Okay. The tutorial design, that's cut off with a type of grungy type grass look of Verdana green, light Verdana green, with white over it is good. Text is also large enough. The HUD is also good. It's not occupying your vision a lot like I say Warframe's HUD is to the top and also to the bottom and to the left. But the characters in Warframe are far bigger in size. Here is far smaller. Thus you get a good aspect ratio and a distance of perspective because the character is much smaller. Now if the character was much bigger, your screen will be occupied more by this character, which would not allow you to see your surroundings better. I would say the character is a bit small, could be a bit bigger. Can I zoom in or not? But it doesn't matter. This is Persona. Typically they're always this size, so it's fine. I believe it's the same for Elden Ring. They're about around this size, or most Souls game anyway. Let's see what else. Mini-map to lower left is fine. Telling you objective by showing you the ping of the red, like ping section or beacon section going off with that red glow. Tells you exactly where you need to go, so that's self-explanatory. Don't know what the pixie does, but there is a items direction by pressing. Once you're in this HUD, you can press right and left on the items direction of your controller. This is the left button for medical herbs, so I could take it. So it's not like other games, it's special battle royale games where you have to press it on up or down or left or right or square or circle just to heal yourself. Here you have to press the button, select the button, then heal. But because this is turn-based, that's also fine. Now in this screen you have this, this, and this. This is also fine. Very self-explanatory, very easy. Tells you where everything is. This is like control. Everything you need is to the upper left, and it follows R1 and R2. I mean R1 and L1 going back and forth, and then you have a scroll up and down. A lot of people don't know this, but all this can be done by a web designer using a Flash or 3D model, Autodesk, or even HTML. HTML can do this quite easy. You just have to crop the right image, cut the right image, then attach the actually code with regards to these drop downs and stuff, and Bob's your uncle. So from the inventory management with regards to creating an interactive menu, that's something that the web designer can do. But moving the characters around and have the bots do whatever you want, that's more like what the game designer does. But most game designers are web designers too, so they probably outsource their stuff to talents to do secondary work if they can't do it themselves. Let's see what else. Center D-pad does nothing.
It's all clear.
Okay, so that's what I was looking for. The L2 when you're in the HUD
They look pretty tough.
does a Horizon Forbidden West thing where you're locking on to certain characters to see where they are. Like if anyone plays Horizon Zero Dawn or Forbidden West, they know what this is. It's like a map or like a beacon or sonar
Strong ones ahead.
to identify where a person is. So it identifies them. Now you could hold it. It looks like you could hold it. I'm holding down on the L2 and it's on. The sonar is on and it's telling me where all my enemies are. So let's say they're hiding behind a wall or I can't tag them. This allows me to see them and highlight them with this white glow around them, and to make the background, or should I say make the environment, seem more dim, and they are more highlighted. Now it's gone. There. Okay, so that's what that is. To tell me when I'm to tell me when I'm in danger or not. Let's see what the R2 does. R2 does nothing, but the L2 does the Horizon Forbidden West thing. All right. Okay, so if I get too close, my pixie would tell me.
I think they see us.
So it will travel over to my section, and then I could fight it.
Watch your
Whoa.
It's not good.
I would take a herb. That's serious damage. I can dodge. This is good.
Right here. Come on. Come and get me. I'm right here.
So it could be. So this is good.
Your health is getting low. Careful.
So this is good. It could be turn-based or it could be not. Maybe I'm not supposed to fight this guy. Maybe he is too strong for me. Yeah, he is too strong. So that's the reason why they create the whole sonar thing, and for you not to get into battles.
Fantasy is only fiction, is it?
That's a nice way of creating your respawn by telling you like, hey, the reason why you respawn is because it's only fiction. That's why you respawn. And then he says, is it? Kind of like a little hint to saying, well, that's not how it works. Now, if anyone ever reads that Orson Welles book, they'll understand what I'm saying. Alright, so these guys are dangerous. Let's ping them again and see what their health is.
Yikes. I think we're in a little over our heads.
Okay, so I don't need to ping them. She will tell me that they're strong. But it says here,
these ones aren't messing around.
Today is 6/02 Wednesday afternoon, and the degree is 31 degrees Celsius. So it's a hot day. But there's no way for me to identify how strong my enemies are, except through the pixie that I'm with. So I'm going to ignore them for right now and run to the objective, because I'm not strong enough to beat them. But they're literally everywhere.
It's all clear.
So they're weak. So in other words, she's saying they're weak by me pressing it's all clear.
Pretty tough. Careful now.
Okay, so they're tough too. Okay. Do I have magic? Okay, so the memorandum, I didn't check that. Memorandum. Yes, I do have magic. How do I perform magic? Magic igniter. So it tells me what it is, but it doesn't tell me how I could. Okay, so I have to develop my skill first before I could even use the magic. Okay. Gauntlet runner. A vehicle, okay. I would need that later on. So this is a vehicle, okay. That's her name, okay. Culture. I'm assuming this is my culture. Okay, so he's a fighter for his culture. Alright. And my name. It doesn't show me my name. It doesn't show me nature either. So I haven't unlocked nature. It doesn't show me history either because there's no history yet. And I'm assuming history is tasks you've done in the past. So I haven't logged anything from the past, won any victories, or interact with any part of the stories yet for it to be history. Okay. And what else? And that seems to be it for right now. Maybe the more stuff will develop. So how would I get to here? I have to get into a fight eventually. If these guys are all strong.
Strong ones ahead. We gotta be careful.
Wait a minute. It has to be a way to tag them. But there's nothing yet to tell me how to. Tutorials. Let's go with face sight. Because I know basic tutorials are what I'm doing, what it tells me. And face sight is what I just did. So technically, there's nothing else. Yeah, so I'll just have to wing it for right now. Screw it.
Watch your health.
Not like this.
Shit.
You can't die on us. You're all
So everyone is really strong. So if she said if she says they're really strong, and I shouldn't be fighting them, which means I'll have to bob and weave through this and try. I'll have to bob and weave through this entire plain area without fighting anyone, which is going to be kind of difficult. Shit.
Hurry! They found us. Get ready, everyone. Look.
Yeah, there's no way I would be able to fight those guys. Even if I bob and weave forever, their health is too high. They're level 22. I'm like Johnny, level 1.
Just checking, but you do remember what we're here to do, right?
Right. What am I doing again?
Oh, I don't know. The mission that's more important than our own lives? First, we get to the royal capital and get you enlisted as a guardsman at the army's recruitment center. This could decide the fate of the whole country. We either do our jobs or we die. And if it's all the same to you, I'd rather stay alive. So we've got to see this mission through. Come on. We don't want the sun to go down on us in the wastes. Let's pull ourselves together and get back on the road. You know what they say. Anxiety breeds the world's cruelest monsters. I mean, fairies say that at least. I can at least cast my usual spell for you. It's the small comforts, right?
Right.
Music was the first magic this world ever knew, after all. Makes the road a little easier. Look! Over there! Let's go. Got a sec? It's all clear.
So when it comes to games that has to do with D&D type games, there's typically looting, and if there's no guns, there's sword fighting of fighting random enemies. Obviously, fighting random enemies does exist, but I wonder if there's in exploration there's looting. I typically will find chests in, like, say Bloodborne or something like that after invading a castle and stuff. So
Yep, we're safe here.
they're innocents. Okay. So red marks enemies that are dangerous, where white... What? No such thing. Okay, never mind. Everything is trying to kill me. So like Final Fantasy VII, you can run away and eventually they'll give up. So it is playing... Okay, so it's playing the game like it's a 2D game from back in the 90s and stuff. The more you keep running, eventually you run into enemies. But in this world, 3D, you get to see the enemies. So if you run into them, it's your own fault. Okay, so that's good as well. I'm glad that's present. But I eventually will have to fight an enemy. I just...
It's all clear.
This dude is Johnny One Shot Wonder level 1. Everybody is 22. It's like instant death over and over again. And they're all... Yeah, there's no way. If I beat one of them, another one would be right behind them. And then I don't even want to fight whatever that thing is. The Chimera. Yeah, that's a Chimera. And she's always telling you she doesn't like it, which means you're too close to the enemy. So, this little pixie or fairy is a great indication that you're going to be in danger if you keep pursuing or going in a certain direction.
Hey, you found something.
Okay. The animation of the characters is better than the ones in, like say, Persona 3. Obviously it's been years, so the animation is pretty good. It's still good.
You look pretty tough.
And it's better than that of a Persona 4. Not sure if it's better than Persona 5. It feels the same as Persona 5. And of course, Persona 6. Or Shin Megami 5. A lot of people get confused with Shin Megami 5 and Persona 5. Like, the word Persona is a different game, and Shin Megami is a different game as well. Shin Megami is not the name of the company, it's just the name of the game. So a Persona game can never be a Shin Megami game. They're just different.
Not good! Run for it!
This land of 8 tribes and 3 nations, all blessed by the power of magic. The United Kingdom of Uchronia. The year is 785. Uchronia is shaken to the core by the sudden death of its king. Anxiety breeds dissent among the tribes. Disparities tear them apart, and no mortal mind remembers the heroic tales upon which their land was built. By this story of fantasy, may this faded world be painted anew.
Whoa, just look!
Whoa.
Get on with it, then! Drop the dog! Hang him dead! Please! I've done nothing wrong! Lying dog! Don't try to deny it! You trample the law for the fun of it!
Let it be known, for misuse of an igniter, you will hang by the neck until dead!
Yeah!
There's no way that crowd was going to listen to anything a Paribus said.
Such a shame. Might you spare some coin? Bless you. Oh,
careful!
Hurry!
Don't you have any street smarts? Come on, kid! Look, we're not tourists here. We gotta stay focused.
Right.
You noticed back on the wagon? You might be the only elder here, in the whole city even.
Okay, so cat people are considered the scum of society, but all these other different cultures, ones with the horns, humans, elves, but the cat people are kind of like the one that are looked down on.
Try to keep your head down, okay?
Or maybe that's not the case. Maybe there are more cat people that are.
It wasn't illness at all. I heard it was foul play, assassination.
Maybe that's not the case at all. Maybe it's just cat people are the one in this place that are, you know, less fortunate than others. But in other places they're probably thriving. So there doesn't seem to be any like discrimination with regards to, well, maybe there is, but there doesn't seem to be any like specific skin color discrimination here because everyone is a different culture. So that maybe there's a culture discrimination or a religious discrimination, but there's no like skin color discrimination because everyone is a different species. So it's more like a species discrimination. But then again, I haven't gotten that deep into the game yet to know if that's true or not. So this is the type of world I would like to exist, because if a world where various different species exist, no one gives a shit about skin color anymore or racism, because you know you have to deal with like freaking werewolf men and elf people, and like all the crap from current days will be ended, and then you'll have to deal with new type of prejudice. But you know, these type of things, I don't think, here's the thing, I don't think it would end regardless of is human or not. I think it's just a nature thing. Like, if all human beings cease to exist and everyone is elves, I believe elves will eventually become prejudiced against themselves as well. Mountain elves are better than desert elves, some type of bullshit. I think it's just a nature thing. It has nothing to do, like, we just do racism because it's human nature, but I guarantee if elves or aliens came about, then we'll all of a sudden start pointing towards elves or aliens. Like, it's not a human thing. I believe it's just a nature thing. Like, if no man exists and only warlocks and elves exist, the warlocks will eventually start pointing towards the elves, and the elves will start pointing towards the warlocks. It will go on forever. So it's just a nature thing, I believe. It has nothing to do with race. It's only race because we made it that way, but I believe prejudice will exist regardless of what new intellect will take over the planet. That will never change.
Shh, careful who hears you say that. But it's just like the prince, isn't it? They say he was attacked in the dead of night. A war of succession is coming, I tell you.
Sounds like monsters have been prowling the countryside. They're sending the guard out to deal with them. The army's really gone to hell. It's a far cry from when we had Count Luis at the helm, I'll tell you that much.
Hard to see how the nation can come back from this.
We'd not have to ask if the prince was still alive.
The king dead, his son stricken. Are there none left to bear the weight of the crown?
We've done all in our power, but not even the kingdom's best. The saint could purify this affliction.
Over 10 years he has languished under this curse. How much longer can his body hold out? No doubt his highness would protest. But since he cannot, we have no choice. For the man who cursed his highness and murdered our king, there can be no mercy. I never thought I would have to ask this of you. But there are so few of us left now. There is no one else to turn to. Will you infiltrate the military to deliver a message to our contact there? This is your mission. For all our sakes, you cannot fail.
So he's an infiltrator.
Hey, you listening? Well,
And here I think he was a regular Joe.
You and the prince were pretty close. Anyway, getting to the capital was only the beginning.
If I sound like I'm eating, that's because I'm eating.
You gotta go
I should
get
just
enlisted
cut the mic
so
every
you can
time
meet
I
our
eat.
operative. Remember,
Sometimes I forget.
nobody here knows who we are. Nobody here knows the prince might still have a claim to the throne. That means if we get busted, that's it. Nobody's gonna save us. Step 1. Let's figure out where the recruitment center is. Shouldn't be too hard, considering the need for soldiers. So?
Oh, okay, so that's what triangle is for. She will guide you and give you good advice. So basically, triangle is like good, kind of like an objective button. Okay. Oh, that's what up is for. To find a save area. So let's say if an enemy is chasing me and chasing me all around, and I'm not fast enough because I don't build my character strong enough to have speed. If I press up, I find the nearest safe area. I could run there before I get got. Maybe he can't go in that safe area. Maybe he can, but if I press it fast enough, it'll be like a bonfire. They get reset back to their location before, you know, they could do me harm.
Whatever will I do?
So I'll press triangle, and then she starts talking. Okay. Oh, and then
What will
there's...
I do? Let's go see.
Okay, she doesn't say anything else. Alright. And of course, bringing up map.
Alright then.
Let's see where the stores are. That's the reason why I was supposed to run all the way here and don't fight those enemies. Because there's no way I could kill them straight away. I have to infiltrate this place, find out what's going on here. But at the same time, I don't really have to. I could do it whenever I want. I could basically run out, kill a bunch of beasts, come back in here, buy stronger armor, kill more beasts, buy stronger armor, kill more beasts, and keep leveling up. So I like that. That's very much Dungeons and Dragons like. Or Elder Scrolls. Or Skyrim. Oh, Elder Scrolls is Skyrim.
Whatever will I do?
Chat. Okay, so this is also like Persona. You can chat with random people.
Stop!
Actually, I shouldn't have talked to him. He's a soldier.
What do you think you're playing at?
I wonder if I talk to him again. Oh, he won't allow me to talk to him again. Okay.
Whatever will I do? Ugh, come off it.
Wise one if you can here. Yeah, so there is prejudice. Obviously they can't be like, well, maybe there is racism too. Like everyone seems to hate the cat people. Maybe everyone hates the cat people. Because racism typically falls onto one's skin color. But does that also falls onto one's genetic disposition or genetic structure of how they physically look? I guess so. Typically, yeah, I would guess so, because how you look is considered racism, and prejudice is typically just you don't like that person or that group of people, and it doesn't have to be related to physical appearance. It could be related to something else. But racism typically is about a person's physical appearance or genetic appearance. I have business here. Oh, so he's not a sanctum. Devilish magic. So he's not a sanctum. Or maybe that's the reason why one of his eyes is blue and the other's orange, or maybe that's a typical Shin Megami thing or an Atlas thing with their characters. Make one eye a different color and the other eye a different color. Then again, that is also an anime thing with regards to a person who carries two different type of magic types.
An elder? Here? Huh? An elder? Here?
So maybe my species or my race is the only that exists. As I've noticed, everyone, they don't look... I mean, there are humans here. This one has a horn. This one's ears look human. No, but she has something on her head as well. Her ears are also human. She doesn't have any horns. So humans aren't Eldens. So maybe that's a specific type of person, and he's not human. He's a different type of person.
Look at that. The new model's out now. I could be out there slinging spells like a master if I had one of those.
I guess that's the big city for you. Everyone and their mother has a magic igniter. So many different types, too.
Now I want one for myself.
Yeah, until you see the price tag. Can't imagine what it's like having to wave around some shiny stick to use magic. Me? I can whip out magic anytime I like. And I can even see the Magla in the air. Though, I'm not exactly an archmage.
Wonders never cease. A fairy and an elden child. Are you new to our fair city? Well, I suggest you keep a low profile. Trust me when I say you don't want to catch the eyes of the lords and ladies. Ah, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I run this humble shop. Are you in the market for an igniter? Here's something that might catch a foreigner's eye. This is modeled after the royal scepter and would make the perfect souvenir.
How much is it?
You're not really going to fall for that, are you? How would you even know what the royal scepter looks like to begin with? You've really never heard of it. Wow. Where do I even start?
A symbol and instrument of the crown's sovereignty. Passed down through generations. If you believe the legends, it houses incredible magic. World-shattering power. More practically, you might call it the world's most potent magic igniter. And in the king's hands, it was enough of a deterrent to stave off invasion.
Now he's dead. With no living heir either.
Tragic, isn't it? Kingly magic is of little use without a king. You picked a bad time to visit, boy. I don't know why you're here, but there's trouble brewing.
Oh yeah, by the way, there's a reason why I decided to put the subtitles English and have the characters speak English as well. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. That's the way it works. If a person cannot see this video, they could hear it. Because there are certain things that allow people to play games who cannot see. And of course there are certain technologies for people who can play games that can't hear, but they could see. So if they can't hear what's being said, the text in English, and if they're English speaking or come from an English speaking country, they could see it in English. Otherwise I would put the language in Japanese, and of course the text is in English. So that's why that is. So I could hear it in English and see it in English. And someone has a disability, they can't hear it, at least could still see the words also in English, or vice versa.
I'll keep that in mind.
A word of caution then. Your survival is your own responsibility.
Well, that was unnecessarily ominous. She has a point, though. We'll need to be careful. Anyway, we don't have time to hang around chatting with the locals. We've got a recruitment office to find.
Let's head there.
Alright, so I'm gonna see if I have any cashola on me right now. So I wonder how I could see if I have dough. Items. I have herbs, I have medicine. How could I tell how much money I have? Fantasy novels. Okay, so the key items aren't indication of money. I have a weapon that's 45 damage and hit power of 96. So I could attack at 45. But the hit would be at a, maybe the critical is 96. Hers is 15. Her hit power is about 10. Okay. Travel close. Defense is 35. Evasion is 2. No wonder I was getting killed a lot. My evasion is at 2. Not only is my health at 1, my evasion is at 2. Her evasion is greater than mine, so it's just 20. Okay. Accessories. I have a travel charm, and she has fairy charm, so I have the ability to travel anywhere. Okay. But where's my money? So maybe I haven't unlocked that yet. Typically money will be in the lower left and lower right when you go to inventory or in items. I don't see that here. Maybe you have to access your map in order to find a store. But there's no way for me to ping a store, so there's no waypoint. I would have to see it based on the map. Now, I didn't criticize the map or anything. It's not a great map, but it's not bad either. It's not like Elden Ring stuff, you know. They thought that they were smart by creating a map because people were always bitching about how come Souls games don't have maps and stuff, so they gave it a map for Elden Ring. But then when they did create a map, the map was so damn small, even though it was colorful, the colors interrupt you from where you want to see. So they never made the map large enough or allow you to zoom in on the goddamn map, which fucked everything up and pissed people off that no one paid attention to the map. They just paid attention to the grace direction location. So that's what I did. When I pull up the map, I just looked at where the grace was pointing and followed the grace, and I said screw everything else. Here it's at least at a good size. I can't zoom in and zoom out, but at least I could see everything without interruption of various different colors. So I like it that it's in black and white, because now I could see things clear. If there was a whole combination of different colors, it would become difficult for me to see what is what and what is where. Or at least they should have identified certain stores a different color, which would make it better. So this is a fairly average map. It's not good, it's not great, it's average. It's not like Control's map that's completely messed up. When you're running, it's traveling with you and all that craziness, but it's decent, it's good. So I'm gonna run directly across. My cursor was pointing north. I'm pointing it this way this time.
All right then.
So the flashlight is now pointing this way, and I'm actually pointing this way. Wait, circle is log. Wait, did I accidentally press something?
All right then.
How the hell did that happen? It just happened out of nowhere. I don't know what the hell. Oh, that's what that is. Okay. So L3 is something. L3 is not just running. L3 is also log. If you press down on your run button too hard, it goes directly into log. So you don't need to press on it to sprint. He's always going to be sprinting. So that's what I was doing. I was pressing on it to sprint, but you don't need to. He will always be sprinting. Oh, this is a church, okay. So that's a church.
All right then.
So churches are those symbols, and let's see what this is. Oh, this was the jewelry store. Jewelry store that gives you the igniters are here. Okay.
All right then.
Where's the weapon store? It's down here.
An elder? Here?
The king!
Maybe there is no weapon store yet.
Hey, mister!
Elden rubbish.
Oh.
Elden rubbish.
All right then. All right then.
Hey, mister! The king!
Oh God, grant me guidance.
All right then.
Close your eye, oh, close your eye. Oh God, grant me guidance.
It's a king!
All right then.
Oh God.
Okay, so whatever that is to the far left, I believe that's off the grid. So rather than waste time there, I'll just keep going on with the story. This is interesting. I've never seen this before. That's an interesting loading screen. I've never seen a loading screen like that before. A guy just keeps walking and walking while the loading is happening. Looking to the left, looking to the right. That's a lot of effort just to do that loading. Most people have a back screen, like a wall, and then a loading symbol of a little animation to show that it's loading. That's a full-on person working, a bot walking in the loading screen. Most games have, like, beginning of the games they have a preloader or a loader. That's a lot of work just for that one little loading. Then again, I guess it's based on the technology.
All right then.
So this new area, there's
What are you playing at?
All right then.
okay, that's the corner. Oh, that's interesting. I could go. Oh, that's what that means. Oh, okay, so that's what it means. Okay. It's a directional button. Okay.
All right then.
Okay, so I have to go here.
Dear me!
That must be the recruitment center. I'll let you take it from here. It should be pretty straightforward. Oh, and if they start asking questions, just be as honest as you can. Lying will only make us more suspicious. So long as you don't compromise the mission, you're fine. Good luck in there. Knock 'em dead. Okay, you got this.
A blue blood, are you? The army's no place for velvet-swaddled lordlings. Why are you here? Perhaps your noble family collapsed under its own weight. Is that it?
Lineage seems a strange measure for a soldier's worth. I'm looking to enlist. Is that enough for you or not?
An uppity one, aren't you? Fine, lordling. Welcome to the Guard, where it'll be your privilege to die screaming and bloody in service of your country. But mark my words, war will turn your arrogance to piss. When your corpse is plucked from the mud, do try to look patriotic.
Rousing words, Captain. You think threats will buy loyalty? No wonder nobody respects the Guard anymore. But I'm here now, so perhaps the kingdom isn't a lost cause.
Insolent pup! You will learn your place.
Don't. The healers have enough on their plates already.
Be gone, and be thankful you're still in one piece. All right, next. Hurry it up. An elder? I thought your kind was long gone. Age 18. An orphan, too. The army can always use more of those. So, what brings you to enlist?
So this guy's a dickhead, but he seems to be only a dickhead to people who are privileged or who have nobility. So he might have a chip on his shoulder with regards to those who are royal. Here, he sees this guy who's an Elden and 18, but he doesn't seem to come across as a prick to him straight away. So who knows, maybe this guy is a bad guy or maybe he's not. Maybe he just doesn't like rich people. I wonder how far the decision making goes within this game. Is this going to change certain part of the story if I choose certain things? If I say I need money, would he get upset? If I say I'm bored, would he get upset? Obviously he would. If I say I want to fight for a change, would he be enthusiastic or give me the same treatment as the other guy? Obviously this is a military, so they're expecting loyalty rather than I just need dough. And they don't want to hear that you're bored. So the most logical question be, is this the right choice? I want to fight for a change. Many people want to fight, but if it's anything like dying in combat and someone pissing on you and stuff, he might not. I'll go with the one that makes more sense.
I want to fight for real change.
Lofty words for a gutter rat with an empty coin purse, no? So, what can you bring to our beloved core? Any
See, I knew it.
to speak of?
I knew it. The same thing he did to the guy. Say I want to fight. The same behavior would have gone. So if I should have just said, my pockets is empty, I need bread. So I know who this type of guy is now. He's a conceited person, and he wants you to stroke his ego. Depend on him. See, if I say I want money, and say I could help you out, he wants people to depend on him. If you're showing that you're strong enough, it seems like the reverse, that he would eventually in time depend on you. I'm small but quick. Maybe saying I'm small but quick is a good thing, because then he's big and strong. He'll find superiority that way. If I read this guy the right way, I might be able to get on his good side. Sharp mind might impede his intelligence, because he doesn't seem to be very intelligent. I doubt he believes I'm stronger than I look. I doubt he believes I could take a lot of punishment. He might laugh at that. He might need luck on the battlefield, but since he's a prick, he might not believe that either. But he might believe small and quick is true.
I'm small, but quick.
Yes, I could see that. Always the cowards who run the fastest, eh?
I knew it.
Last order of business. Make your mark or sign your name if you're actually literate.
I knew it. I read this guy like a book. He's all about, yeah, I could read him like a book. He likes to have superiority over others. And the moment I said I'm small but quick,
Welcome to the guard.
he is accepting
I'm sure
that.
you heard about the monster sightings, so stay sharp out there. We're short-handed as it is, so be a good lad and try not to get killed on your first deployment. You can pick up your kit at reception. Standard issue guardsman armor and igniter. Kingdom property. So if you break it, it's coming out of your commission. On your way now. Up to. Next.
See, I knew it. What will happen though is I'm going to ring this guy a new one when I become stronger and more in charge. I'll make him do all the shit duty. Like Band of Brothers. The guy that gave that guy the shit in Band of Brothers, the drill sergeant or sergeant. Eventually, he became in charge of his own squad, led the men into combat, made his squad one part of the war, while that dickhead was still training people and got a higher rank than him. So when I get higher rank than that prick, and I'm in charge, I'm gonna make him do all the shit duty, literally shit duty. And he won't be able to say anything about it.
Sightings.
What? Of those huge monsters? You think that's why we're low on soldiers? Wish they'd have told us that. What did they call them? Something like, human...
Next! Another Clamar. Wait, no.
You don't look like the others.
No shit, Sherlock. I'm not of the everyone else. And another thing with regards to that guy, if you notice anything about, if you ever been in combat or in a fight or in anything, you would know people who've actually been in war. Like, they have certain scars on their body that they hide away. Or they have a certain disposition. It's not prickly. It's more like, I see straight through you type of thing. Or, I don't have time for you. You know, we're wasting my time type of behavior. They never really upstart. They're more like, I don't have time for this. That type of behavior. But they're never that prickly. Usually the prickly ones are the ones that really haven't seen that much combat. The ones that really have seen combat, they're more like, I don't have time for this shit. Like, just get it done or be on your way. Or they usually have a part of their body that's been removed, or a scar on their face, or something that represent that they've been attacked by someone and they managed to survive it. Doesn't mean that they're a strong fighter. It just means they happen to survive it. That guy don't look like he have a single scar or any type of disposition that not disposition or any type of position that shows that he doesn't care whatsoever at all. He just needs it to get done. He is more like putting on a show.
Surely not. An elder? It's the first of your kind.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's never actually been in the front lines.
There's a priority around here.
But I will be surprised if he did.
Children with igniters now. Waste of good gear. It's better off in my hands. Give it here.
Brute force. Crude insults. The world is yours for the taking.
Care to say that again, boy?
We all have our reasons to enlist. Now get back in line.
Oh, another high and mighty Clamar, is it? You think your pretty words will measure up to pure Rousseau strength?
Oh, forget the tribes. This is a matter of pride. Now, you owe us both an apology.
Come on, no fighting in the ranks.
Sorry for making a scene. You alright?
Oh, and another thing, when it comes to war and combat, like if someone steps to you and want to fight you, you don't ever back down from it, and you never ask for apology. You say, anytime. If he decides to take a swing, means he's real. If he doesn't decide to swing, and he's still barking, hoping to wear you down with his loud barking, means either he knows he'll destroy you or he's a coward. The only way to know someone is actually real is when they take a swing and then you swing and hit them back, or you hit them back, you hit them first and see if they're going to respond with a huge aggression. If they don't respond to huge aggression, they just quickly goes to the defense rather than go straight at you after you hit them, means that they were a bitch to begin with. I know this. I hate to boast about it. In fact, I'm not boasting, I'm just being real. That stuff has happened to me many times. Many times I've been a coward. Many times I've overcome cowardice and I realized, you know what, fuck this. I'm going in. And I did. And eventually you could define, you know who people are by doing so. Same as if you were to hold a real live grenade. If you were to hold a real live grenade after you unpin it, you better throw that damn thing, because it's going to kill you and everyone else in front of you then and there. You only have a few seconds before you're dead. That's the truth of the matter. It's the same when it comes to anything in combat. That fighting shit that you see in UFC, that's nothing. The real reality is when a guy's coming at you with a blade and a rifle and throwing grenades at you, things that could obliterate you in a second. There's no, I just take my jaw, got knocked the fuck out in the ring. You'll be able to wake up tomorrow from that. You're not going to be wake up tomorrow from a goddamn bullet in your head. That's why I respect military people more than I respect fighters. Man, like, get the fuck out of here. Go into the military and see if you survive past the first incursion charge towards the front line. Guarantee your bitch ass won't. All this shit talking about these UFC fighters and stuff. Join the fucking military and see how long you last.
just felt like stepping in. Don't worry about it. Well, see you around. Try not to die out there.
I was lucky enough to come back home during a period
Here, you igniter.
where the war was over and my time was up. And since I had no intentions of rejoining for any reasons other than I want a different life, it's the reason why I didn't rejoin.
Anyone can use magic.
But that time period where I was in, it gave me a goddamn grenade. It told me, hey, you're going in, you're dropping off, here you are, you're in this location, this is what you gotta do. Then all of a sudden, orders canceled, came back home, boom, that was the end of that. Anyone tells me otherwise, look up the fucking military. Half of the boys who fight in the military don't even see combat, and the other half do. Like, get the bitch ass UFC and all that shit out of here.
It's dangerous to even chart the wilds, but this is full of details.
One day you'll die and you won't come back home and see your parents. That's the type of person that's the real. The person who's willing to sacrifice himself.
Captain Klinger. And as of this moment, you miserable
I didn't know I was going to come home, but I'm home.
I'm sure you've all heard about our forces being tied up with the
And it just fluked that it happened. It's just fluked.
But if you think you're on cushy security detail,
I'm thankful I'm here. Because if things had gone the wrong way, I would not be. That's just a reality of the situation. No boasting, no bullshit. It's just reality.
First, you will be deployed to
it wasn't my time, and a lot of people got the same thing. Some of them just didn't see combat. Not because they didn't want to, because orders said so. Orders said so.
Hey.
Perfect. That's exactly where our contacts hold up.
Enjoy tonight's sleep, because it's the last full night's rest you'll get. Dismissed!
Look at all the other recruits. They really are desperate for new blood. Oh, right. I know you don't know what our contact looks like yet, but he'll know you by your sword. He'll also know right away why we've come. And don't worry, I'll recognize him. Well, the charming captain is probably right. We should get some rest before tomorrow. Hey. You awake?
And I hate to harp on this, but I have relatives in my family who think they're better than me and stuff. But like, listen, I'm the only person in my family who was willing to go into combat. Live guns, many shells, at magazine and everything, and I didn't know I was going to come back. So anytime my family's talking shit, like, I was the only one that was going to die and not come back home. And every time you see me, you look down on me and stuff. Know that I was the only one who's had that grenade, had that gun, had that squad member with me, willing to die for this fucking country. Y'all would never be that. That's I keep thinking in the back of my head.
Yeah, I'm awake.
But then again, you know, it doesn't mean I'm better than them. It just means an aspect of me is willing to do a thing that they will never do.
Can't seem to fall asleep.
Or can't do.
I'd heard about what it was like in the capital, but
Or their
still,
bodies simply don't have the strength to
you
do.
hear and see all this prejudice out in the open? It's a lot. You okay?
It never gets easier.
Yeah, I could tell. Try to put it behind you, okay? Some people are even saying it's the lesser tribe's fault that the monsters are showing up at all. These are the same kind of people who burned down your village, remember?
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, but still, the prince was kind to take you in. He cared more about who you were than what you were. I can see why you'd want to repay him. Oh, speaking of, he's the one who gave you that book, right? Can I see it?
Sure, I guess.
I gotta say, I've been curious. Thanks. It's what you call a fantasy story, right? So it's a fantasy world made up by the author. The prince loved those kinds of stories. Okay, let's see. It says the young traveler was amazed by the world he saw. In this world, there is only one tribe. All people accept each other, And no soul is born into discrimination. Wow. So not even any fairies? I guess less differences means less to argue over. In such a world, there is no need for sorcery. A megapolis is built through learning and labor. Towers of glass that reach the heavens. Safe nights with no dark shadows. Busy streets well traveled. And in the laws of these emotionally satisfied people, it reads, all lives are equal. Whoa. I see. No magic, no tribal conflict. And equality for all? It really does sound like a fantasy. But it's strange to feel envious of a fictional world.
Hey, are you asleep already? You know how hard it is for me to turn these pages on my own?
Well, guess I'll just read more later. Good night.
I like this demo. It's not easy, it's not cheap, it's not quick. You know, it's not at Dead... Well, it's not... No. I never played at Dead Night. I forgot the name of that. I just played it about a few months ago. I forgot it. I guess it wasn't that important that I don't remember it. But it wasn't good. Games like this that give you a lot to chew on in the demo.
Shouldn't you be resting?
You know it's good.
I'm fine. In fact, I'm glad we have this chance to talk. I've been reading, and I hope that someday we can make our kingdom like the place in this book. You said it was some kind of fantasy novel, didn't you? Our lives are decided at birth, by tribal purity, or by the differences that make us who we are. I don't want that to be the world we live in. The Elder here are a perfect example. If you'd not sheltered me, I would never have survived. And yet, they burned your home down. It's tragic, and no one should have to suffer so. Someone needs to fix... You okay? Don't push yourself so hard. Reality is much too cruel. I know that. But I'll fight it. I'll fight to the end. I'm a prince. But I need to be a hero. One worthy of the throne. A hero? One who can lead. A beacon who will pierce the darkness when all seems lost. My father taught me that. In his stories, the kingdom was full of legendary heroes. So I can't give up. In my ideal world, people can believe in their future. Their birth doesn't matter. Not that I expect it will be easy. I believe in you. Familiar words. When I'm down, when I struggle, you're always there to help me through it. Let's do it. You'll be a hero. Trust me. I won't give up either. Trust me.
The best part of that story was the story with the kids. The beginning animation, those people getting raided, not so much. Coming into the city, not so much. That little situation of his past, it was the best part so far. Not so much them talking, but the moment you see him as a kid standing and then the other one's lying there on that thing. And then you know later on in the future, the prince is still lying there on that thing. So, you know, on the altar. So I'm not sure what's up with that, but that context is pretty damn good. Him joining in the military, not so much, but that's the best part of the story so far. A
Until
little
arrival at
context
the
with regards to
northern
what that
border
is.
fort, one day remains.
Maybe it's necessary for you to progress forward. He has to be there. Maybe that's a way for them to keep stability in the magic world. Someone has to be lying there. Okay, so this is the map. I like it. I like the cursor. It moves very fast. This is very fast. This is a huge map. Wow. Can I zoom in and out? I can zoom out, yes. Whoa. This is a huge map. So here's how you know this is a huge map. Let's say the Elden Ring map is this. This is the Elden Ring map. Here, 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 and here. And then there was the Dragon Island, something that was here. And then there was another island that was here. But there was never anything all the way down here. So apparently there's even more stuff all the way down here. So there was always a land here, land here, land here, and a dragon like little Farmer Zula place over there. And then there was, I believe there was another island something. But this is like a whole different thing. Maybe this doesn't matter. Maybe this is just a part of the animation. But this does matter. There's a land here, land here, land here, 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 and here. So it seems to have equal amount of lands. In fact, even extra ones that you might be able to explore. Maybe we can't explore here, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to explore here. So I would say maybe two additional more lands than that of something like an exploration game like say Elden Ring is. How I know this is I know the map of Elden Ring quite well, and it's typically this size here, but there was nothing like here. Or maybe this is supposed to represent Farmazula land island that was over here, so maybe they're equally the same. But then again, what defines a game in exploration is more than just the size of the map and where you could go and where you can't go. Is exactly what you're doing in the open world. What you can do. It's not just how far you could go. It's what you can do in the open world. That is something I believe that this game might not have over something like say From Software game does, or a D&D game, or maybe even a Warcraft game. But then again, you can't compare this to Warcraft. Warcraft is just great that way. So let's see. We were here. No, we were here and now we gotta go here. So let's see, fast travel's in here.
Hey, don't forget.
Our contact should be here. Okay, so the memorandum can be accessed on the map using the R3. So R3 is something as well. Thought it was just nothing, but R3 is something. So every single button that you have on your controller applies to something. There's no button that doesn't apply to something. Got it. Okay, so the history is now being filled. Nature isn't being filled yet because we probably haven't been farming anything, obviously. But here, now history is starting to be filled. We've entered this location. We've entered here. We got context with regards to this and the knights. And more information with regards to magic, because that's what she does. Okay. So this is a very detailed demo. It's basically telling you exactly what you're going to be getting into before you get into it. So this does feel very much like an open world game. Like a free to play open world game or a multiplayer open world game. Yep. Let's see, due to his stereotype, You're locked down upon all the warrior tribes. The text is big enough for you to see. It would be become, from what I could see based on the side, this is a standard text that you should be using if you're a game designer. Nothing smaller than this, and not in like cursive type writing or classical type writing. It has to be something that's very font-like, direct Sanskrit description, or Roman New Times New Roman style if you're going to go that style, or basically reserve or grunge for larger size text, or if not even that, just Cambian drift for normal text, or I don't know, maybe I forgot the name of the other one. I'm not a font designer, but those are some of the ones specifically you should be using. Yeah, but this is good. Yeah, discrimination against them, especially obvious in large cities. Yeah, yeah. Someone has to be discriminated against, and why not it be this group of people? I'm pretty sure the game is going to give you, if you purchase the game, it's going to give you more context and why that is and how it came into being. For right now, it's more details with regards to that needs to be presented. Okay. Okay, so this is the Prince of Uchronia. I believe the E is silent, Uchronia, if I'm saying that correctly, or Echronia if the U is silent. Okay, I want to know who that guy, that blonde-haired guy that assassinated the king really is. I'm interested to know who he really is. For some reason, I have a feeling he's associated with the prince. Well, maybe that's just my association with dudes with long hair that's silver, associated with Griffith. Like, I automatically assume a dude having long white hair is somewhat associated with Griffith, or with the use of magic. Obviously it is, but typically a bad guy. But then again, Geralt of Rivia has silver hair, and he's not a bad guy, so that doesn't mean anything. Okay. Okay. Alright, so...
Okay then.
Yes, this is a very good demo. From just this alone, this is a good demo. I don't really need to see much more to know that this is a good demo. The level of information is given you.
Border fort. The towering fortress was built during the Annex War in the mountains at the edge of the territory. Even now, soldiers are sent there for its strategic importance to the royal capital and to combat the rising waves of monsters. Fresh-faced soldiers disembark from their coaches at the foot of a steep ascent to the fort, the first of many uphill battles.
I would say their map is better than Elden Ring's map because obviously I said it before.
Oh, finally.
It's quite stale.
Can hardly feel my legs.
Listen well, you lackwits. The battlefield is no place to sit on your asses, and the border front is always a battlefield. The call to arms could sound at any time. Stand to, curs. You have the honor to serve at the command of Captain Klinger, war hero, tactician, master of arms. When I earned rank in the trenches, forged in the blood of my comrades.
Spare us this drivel. Say, friend, I'm curious. What is it about that book that's captivated you so?
So I don't know about this guy yet. If this is a game that I think it is, if this is like a Megami game, or if this is like a Persona game. Your allies could be people who would turn on you one day, or they could be dedicated allies for the rest of your life, so it really depends on what you say to them that will rub them the wrong way or make them be your friends. Like in Nocturna, depending on what choices you made, you get to be side with one friend or another in order to assist with their creation of the world. Whereas if you don't agree with their ideology, you're versus them and all their archangel minions. So I don't know. If this is going down that route, then I'm down for it. But if this is something new, I'm also down for that too. I'm always down for something new than something I've seen before anyway. A world with no magic seems lame. A world with only one tribe seems lame. It's hard to explain.
It's, hard to explain.
Some kind of fantasy novel, you said. So it's describing a better world. A utopia, perhaps. I'm something of a reader myself, but that's not like any book I've read. You know,
yeah, that's because
when
that's
late
the
king
dev's
took the throne,
development.
He was quite the idealist himself. He made grand claims about unifying the people under his rule. Never managed to do it in the end, of course. Reform takes more than high-minded, eloquent speeches. Maybe he was too blind to see that himself.
Listen to you. A babe with his first sword thinking he knows better than a king. Keep your mouth shut. No one cares what you think.
Nobody asked you.
Something to say? Go on. I'm listening.
Okay, so instigating this guy into an argument. Well, no one instigating, but responding to this guy in an argument will allow a fight to occur. Maybe that's what I need to build strength and to build loyalty with regards to my fellow compatriot here. And also, it's a good way for me to test whether he's a ride or die type. But he seems to be the type that wants apology. But then again, apology is not necessary in combat. Is it a fight you want? I'm a fight I'm going to give you. Don't worry, my friends are all out. So, this is mediator, this is a brawler, this is bitch. Or, this is sound, this is stupid, and this is bitch. It's hard to say. This sounds an obviously stupid thing to, but apologizing for him might make him seem like, you know, he questioned you. This will all obviously be an insult to him, because then he'll look at you side-eye. But then he might think you're a ruffian if you pick this. But maybe I could apologize after I get a ass kicking by the soldier.
If it's a fight you want, draw your blade.
Didn't think you'd just challenge me straight out. You've got guts for a lesser tribesman. Well, Clamar, I'll let it go this time. But only because I like your friend. Next time, keep your complaining to yourself.
That's the last thing I need. Though I suppose I deserved it in part, speaking ill of the dead and all. My mouth tends to get ahead of my thoughts sometimes. Although, I'm glad a bad habit seems to have drawn us together. Oh, never got round to an introduction. I'm Stroll.
Good, I made the right
Leon
choice.
Stroll, son of the Count of Harlia.
And I made the military seat, I'm not a bitch. At least in words, anyway.
That's my name.
I have that right? It's got a certain weight to it. For what it's worth, my title doesn't mean much. Here and now, we're peers and equals.
By the skin of my teeth! Now, where was I? Right, as for you, fresh meat.
Someone, help!
You ain't gonna do shit, you look like you need a
Is
diet.
that a soldier?
When's the last time you've been in combat?
Listen, stay on guard. It's too...
Not one of mine. Must be one of the fort's guard. Those damn vultures across the border. They must have heard about the king's death. Anyway, to the fort. Double time. I'll stay behind to see to the poor bastard's wounds.
You want us to go on ahead? Alone? Shouldn't we at least send a team back to ask for...
I knew fear would take you at the first step. You want to turn tail? Are you a traitor to the cause? The Guard has no place for cowards. You are part of His Majesty's Royal Army. Swallow your fear. Fight with pride. And we'll all have medals this time tomorrow.
He's right. We're warriors. Up there is our first chance at glory and riches. Damned if I'm gonna waste it. Let's go!
Damn it. Well, I suppose this is what we signed up for. Onward, to the fort then.
There were plenty dumbasses like that when they were in the military. When I was in the military.
I've got a bad feeling about this. It's hard to explain, but it's like there's a
Even in
stench
training.
in the air, and it's getting stronger.
Hey,
we're outnumbered.
Did something happen?
Like, you're not gonna magically all of a sudden, you know, defeat your enemy because of out of courage and strength. It's not how it works when it comes to using weapons.
Wait, is that a fairy? Did you catch it yourself?
Caught it over there a moment ago.
You did not. I'm not a bug, and I'm not an it. My name is Gallica, for your information.
So you travel together? You've stayed well hidden for quite a while.
Well, I didn't want anyone making a fuss. But we've got bigger problems right now. I can't shake this feeling. We gotta be careful.
Like, courage and strength only works when you know that the other people on the other side are physically weaker than you and less trained than you are. That way, your strength and your training that you know is better than theirs will balance the ties with regards to numbers, or at least let them rethink their strategy. So that's an ancient military practice still used today. If you know you have better physical training, better troops with anatomy, it doesn't matter if you have the lesser number. They'll be able to charge further, faster, climb higher, last longer, and sleep less than your opponents. It's simply an anatomy and a physical condition thing. And also, they'll be able to throw punches, pick up heavy objects, survive impacts from grenades if they're at a long distance range from it, and recover their blood faster with regards to bleeding out. And of course, if they're loyal and strong, they will shut the hell up when their legs got blown the fuck off. Or at least they will scream, but they won't scream out or loud enough to give away the enemy's position. You know, at least they'll bite down on something. That's why in the military, even in some movies, they tell you bite down on this, so you don't give away the position when your legs got blown the fuck off. So I'm going to continue this some other time, maybe tomorrow, because I'm getting a lot of buffering, a lot of internet lag right now. So this is going to be day one of Metaphor, because this is a long demo. I had no idea this demo was going to be this long, but it's good, so I'll continue this tomorrow. Let's see how long it's been. It's been a full 2 hours. A full 2 hours. Even if I was talking for an hour during that 2 hour period, it's still an hour demo without me talking. So this is long. Or, you know what, let me continue and see how long it goes.
I'll follow all. I assume you know how to use an igniter properly. I'm with you.
The last demo I did that was this long was
bad. I didn't think you'd actually have to fight anyone.
I think it was the witch on something. I think it was a witch on the Darkest Night. It was a scripted storybook. like a graphic novel storybook.
Here we go. This is...
Okay, so I at least have fire. And let's see what he has. He has nothing. She has nothing, but I have fire. Okay. So I have a sword and I have fire, and my health is 128 and my defense is 75. And his is 141. He has a little bit more health than I do. His defense is a little bit stronger than I am, and she doesn't have Gallica doesn't have any because she could basically avoid any of their attacks. She's that fast. I'm pretty sure that will change when an enemy does an area of effect blast where she could take damage, but for right now in this demo she doesn't need to have any. I have 7 medical herbs, so I could heal myself up enough. Hopefully the enemy I fight is not like a level 20 or level 22, because that will suck. Okay, let's see what I'm wearing. I mean, I hate what I'm wearing, but weapons I'm carrying. Okay. I'm carrying this. He's carrying this. She's carrying that. 50, 95. His attack is less than mine's, but his damage is just 1% more than mine's. Okay, so he's basically weaker than I am when it comes to fighting, but his health is more than I am. So maybe if there's a switch with regards to changing characters in the game, like a Persona 4 and Persona 5, there was switching of characters in combat. Maybe I could switch to him if Mag goes down. If that's present in this game, that's sweet, because then I could do a whole Enlisted thing, switching bodies, like I did in that war game. Switch bodies. And of course accessories. Well, I guess I gotta go into it wearing leather stuff. I believe in Fantasy World the cheapest gear that you could rock is the leather. And I believe wood is considered stronger than leather. Or maybe wood is weaker. I don't know. It's either leather and wood are the weakest game in like fantasy games. Leather and wood. So if my internet goes down, I'll just continue this tomorrow. So hopefully it doesn't go down, but it's looking pretty bad. It's looking pretty bad.
There it is. That's a human. Stand your ground!
Actually, I will continue this tomorrow. I will continue this tomorrow. The buffering is so bad. The lag is so bad. From what I could see on my cell phone, our characters are still outside. So this whole scene with regards to this monster that we're going to fight is like 40 seconds behind. 40 or 50 seconds behind. So yeah, I'm going to continue this tomorrow when the internet is pretty good. So 2 hours is pretty damn good for a demo. Even if it was just 1 hour, that would be good. 1 hour of demo is pretty damn good. But this game is long. I believe if I didn't talk, the demo would probably be a good 2 hours, or maybe an hour and a half if I wasn't talking. But yeah, that's it for right now. I'm out.